Think about your favorite company. And now imagine that they let you see in every meeting, in every room from day one.
Boy, I've forgotten how much work it actually is to start a company. It's a lot of work.
We're building a media company and an investment fund. So what does that mean? In our studio, we create and scale new shows.
You might have seen these flight studio shows. I mean, top 10 shows, just amazing.
We're live here at Flight Studio.
And use that audience to accelerate some of the most exciting companies in the world. This is Flight Story. I want to talk about hiring, mindset, mentality, building a business. That someone in the audience is like right now they're thinking, I'm here and I want to get here and there's a gap. What is the gap? I wish someone did what we're going to do on this channel when I was 18 years old and I was in that bedroom in Manchester alone after dropping out of university, absolutely penniless with debts, trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur. I wish someone gave me a bit of a blueprint and a roadmap and gave me a play-by-play of what it takes and what to do at key moments and how to make decisions.
Where are we going? Dubai, baby!
See you in the morning, mate. Take care.
Alright, perfect. Just text me when.
We're going to move back to the original format on this channel, which is recording every single week because you guys have asked me and DM'd me and harassed me to do so, which I thank you for because it's an indicator that you liked what we were doing on this channel. For me, the objective of this channel is multifaceted, but the real driving force for me and for Will as to why we do this channel is because I wish someone did what we're going to do on this channel when I was 18 years old and I was in that bedroom in Manchester alone after dropping out of university, absolutely penniless with debts, trying to figure out how to be an entrepreneur. I wish someone gave me a bit of a blueprint and a roadmap and gave me a play-by-play of what it takes and what to do at key moments and how to make decisions. So much of what I'm going to try and do is give a rolling commentary about how we make decisions. So many things happening in 2025 that I'm so excited about, and I'm going to run you through some of them now. I've had, over the last couple of years, a holding group which has consisted of about 20 or 30 different investments and companies that I've made. We're merging it all into one company called Flight Story, and I'll talk to you more about that later on. Third Web, my software company in America, is also doing exceptionally well, and we think this is really going to be the breakout year for the company. Last year was our best year ever in every regard. I think there was more than 1.5 billion transactions on our platform. I'm writing a new book at the moment, so I'm thinking a lot, I'm writing a lot, I'm analyzing my life a lot. The Diary of a CEO, we believe this is going to be the most important year for the show, and as part of that, I'm going to be spending more time in America, which is something I'm going to be talking to you about in a lot more detail shortly. There's just so much going on. I've just landed into Dubai, and this for me marks the start of 2025, and I'm incredibly focused at the moment on my fitness, and this really is the year where I'm going to develop some new fitness habits. One of them is going to be running, and I'm going to get into the best shape of my life.
Yeah, I know you don't want to be disturbed, but I was like, you know what? This is the real stuff because generally people like me quit my job and I started a business and I am where I am today.
Congratulations, I'm proud of you. I don't even know you.
No, thank you, bro. Okay, so I know you don't want to disturb, but I want to say thank you, man. Thank you, we appreciate it.
A lot of people, when they start the new year, they get really, really focused on goals, right? But one of the things that's going to help you to unlock any goal that you might set is having more time back for yourself. And therefore, it's wise to do a bit of a time audit, a time assessment to see where you might be able to shave back 30 minutes, 1 hour a day, even 1 hour a week because that's going to give you an additional 52 hours a year if you just manage to get 1 hour a week back. And I've been going through my emails, my Slack channels, my WhatsApps. On Slack, I deleted about 15 channels just because they don't have enough activity for me to want to get notifications from those things anymore. I found new tools because of AI that mean that I can send messages to my team faster and not have to type everything out, which is much more slow. I found all of these little ways to win time back. I've delegated things to other people. I found ways to automate things that I was doing manually, but I was doing those things every day. So why can't I do that in an automated way? And I think in this vlog, I'll share some of those things with you and I'll show you how I do some of those things. But it's something that I think you should be thinking about, because I think time is really the macro. That's the like overarching thing that really determines your outcomes, is how much of that currency of time that you have to allocate against any goal that might matter to you. So that's something I've been thinking a lot about. I'm just aware of the hours.
15 minutes. Quick shower.
Let me give you some context on what you're about to see. At Flight Story, our media company builds and scales new shows with talent at the heart of it. We have many revenue streams, from advertising to e-commerce to books to equity deals to speaking and much more. Speaking and hosting events can generate anywhere from 50k to 400k per event, and it's a great opportunity for our talent to meet their audience and to build new connections. Today I've been booked to speak at an awesome event here in Dubai called Mind Valley. And for me, yes, the fees help Flight Story to meet its big target, but it's also a great opportunity for me to meet the people that have supported and followed me for many years. I need to write this bloody book, don't I? I need to write this new book.
How's that going?
I'm running some more tests at the moment to see if I should write the book about. My God.
Really?
It's really like,
interesting.
I just think there's a big thing happening around like religiosity's increasing, and I'm just wondering if there's a bigger piece about purpose and God and meaning. So the team are running like 20 titles this week on.
I saw some ads go up, yeah.
Just to see if that's like, if people are actually interested in that, if they'd actually buy a book on it.
Yeah.
When I talk about running tests here, here's what I mean. In my company Flight Story, we have a phrase called kill the guesswork, and we apply this to everything. It essentially means that if there's a creative piece of work in front of you, instead of going off your own vibes or your own romance or your own bias, find a way to run a test to figure out which piece of creative is the best and build in that direction. So we've made 20 different book titles for my upcoming book. We've tested them and we figured out which subject my audience liked the most. What is this?
So this is for you. That's the
wow.
speaker gift. This is yours.
Oh wow, what's this?
So this is the Mind Valley Award.
Award for
That's
what have I done?
Very cool.
An honorary award for you.
For what did
For
I
the
do?
for the achievements.
Is this a fake award? For the achievements. I would like to thank everybody. My mum for the achievements. Who's interviewing me?
Wow. Vision.
Oh, Vision. I might just say to him, listen,
You can tell him.
just ask me whatever you want. I want to talk about hiring, mindset, mentality, maybe even marketing, maybe even how to grow an audience, maybe even building a business, struggling. That someone in the audience is like right now in January, they're thinking, I'm here and I want to get here and there's a gap. What is the gap?
Very quick one. Very nice meeting you.
Hello.
I love your work. I love your work so much.
Thank you so much. I was going to say, please just ask me anything you want.
Okay.
Don't worry about the questions.
So much privilege. That's awesome.
Thank you, my friends. Please come.
You go first.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. That was so sweet. I have to live up to that now. Thank you.
So you're sleeping late,
Yeah.
eating every day, working out every day, doing 5-kilometer runs each day. Do you have fun time in business?
Yes, because this is probably, for anyone that's trying to build a business, the most important thing is hiring. But when I study great entrepreneurs like the Steve Jobs of the world, and you look at what they say, I remember watching the Steve Jobs interview where he said,
the neatest thing that happens is when you get a core group of 10 great people, that it becomes self-policing as to who they let into that group. So I consider the most important job of someone like myself is recruiting.
It's what I do. It's what I spend about 20 to 30 hours in the car on the way here. Will was filming me. I'm trying to hire someone who is probably one of the best in the world at what they do, arguably the best in the world at what they do, because I know that that's the first foundation of business. I know responsibility one, and the thing that will sway your outcomes more, if we meet a year from now, is how good you were at assembling people. Assemble the world's best group of people, bind them with a culture that makes them do the best work of their life, set them a vision that's meaningful. And that's what I do. So when you ask how I can run my businesses, it's because I spent 5 years trying to get Leo Harrison to come and work with me. I'll send you an email which is summarizing the proposition per se.
Really, really go. Honoured.
At 31 years old, he said yes. Georgie and CD, they were leading one of the biggest media companies in the world, as managing director and global commercial director, did the hard work of persuading them to come and join me and run my business with me. I've got a recruitment team. Massive recruitment team. I own a recruitment company. I could let someone else do it. I don't have to do this, but I know it's the most important thing. I know there's nothing more important as a founder, and that is where I'll win. Because you'll probably have to be working really, really, really hard and stumbling into old problems and struggling, whereas by investing upstream in assembling a better group of people, I'm not going to encounter the same problem set that you're going to encounter, because I'm going to get people that have kind of done it before, and that means that I'm not relying on my own talent.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done.
Sorry, we need to go.
Such a pleasure meeting you, man.
Thank you.
We need to go.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
My name is Bartlett.
Really sorry.
Thank you so much.
much.
Yeah, you gotta take it.
Stephen, I have a pitch for you. Can I pitch something?
Yeah. Send me an email, Stephen@StephenBartlett.com. Send me an email. Stephen@StephenBartlett. Send it in the next 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Safe
Thank
travels.
you so much for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you,
Take care.
sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Safe travels.
You know, people talk a lot about manifestation, and I'll be honest with you, I tend to believe that the people that talk about manifestation the most are often the least successful people that I know, because the people that are successful aren't doing much talking at all. They're actually doing the thing. And just like if you got in a car and you set the sat nav, you're not going to go anywhere without drive. And there's a lot of people that just set the sat nav. And at the top of the year, it's clear in my brain where professionally, me and my team need to end the year. It's really, really clear in my brain. And for the next 360 odd days that we have left in this year, I'm going to try and bend the world towards that goal.
I think many of you can probably relate to feeling a little bit sick and tired of hearing yourself repeat excuses in your own head, even if you don't maybe externalize them and repeat them to other people. I think that there's almost developed a bit of a culture in society where we self-label and self-diagnose ourselves as being incapable of doing things based on fairly little evidence. And me and my friend were sat around over New Year's. He was saying, oh, my brain doesn't work in that way, and well, my legs aren't like that. And really these things are like self-imposed limitations that are actually excuses that form part of this new self-constructed limiting identity that tells us who we are and maybe most importantly who we aren't. And the thing is, when we repeat these things over and over again and say to ourselves, I can't do this or I can't do that, there's a real self-fulfilling element to it, because our identities are like really, really strong things. And I was reading this quote over New Year's, which I actually saved on Twitter. It is even more difficult to get a man to understand something when his identity depends on his not understanding it. And really what that quote says is we will go to great lengths to defend our own identity, even if new information and evidence contradicts it. And I was like, it's so unbelievably true. You see this across social media discourse and politics and so much of the rhetoric that's happening online, where people are so entrenched in their side, in their group, in their own identity, that they're like They find it impossible to accept new ideas. And I just never want to be that kind of person. I don't want to be that person ideologically, and I don't want to be it in terms of my own mentality. I never want to believe that I am anything, because the minute you start believing that you are something, you therefore believe you are not something else. And I really thought long and hard about the excuses I make to myself and the things that I say to myself about my childhood, and how those things that happened in my childhood have just made me who I am. This sort of Freudian cause and effect model, I think, is unhelpful. The things that you said you can't do makes a lot of sense to me, to prove that they are totally made up. And when you do that, when you just prove one of the things that you told yourself you can't do is totally made up by trying to do it, it poses this really interesting, confronting question to you, which is, what else have I said to myself that I can't do that's totally made up? And for me, one of those things was running.
It was really, really hard. Especially when I came out in here. That's when the demons start talking to you. They start negotiating. Demons start saying, listen, no one's going to know other than Will if you stop at 4K. You could just submit a 4K time. These are all the things my demon said to me. But then this other voice came into my mind, and this is the voice that always enables me to keep going when I'm running or doing something difficult. That voice said, only Will know. That's fine, but you will know, and I'll have to live the rest of my life knowing that there's this line in my self-story that says, when things get really difficult, when Steve feels a little bit of pain, Steve Bartlett is the type of person that stops, and that will translate as an instruction for many things in my life. Now I understand why everybody loves running, and it turns out that I am, in fact, a runner. And that when I told myself I wasn't, it was a choice I was making. A choice I was making to believe something that absolutely wasn't serving me, and also was going to stand in the way of me discovering something that I absolutely love doing. So here we are. Now the challenge is yours. Just finished the run with Will, rushing back to the hotel, going to go to the airport, fly back, and then I'm going to go watch the football on Sunday at Emirates. Manchester United versus Arsenal, going with a friend and Piers Morgan and a few others, so looking forward to that. Oh yeah, I'm going to the football with Piers Morgan, big Arsenal fan, isn't he? Interesting. In case we win, and I'll put it in his face. Yeah, fucking put this on Sunset.
See you in the morning. See you in the UK.
I've just left Dubai, which has been a whistle-stop tour. I flew from Cape Town into Dubai. I did the event, worked into the night, got up in the morning, hit the gym, went for the run, went to the airport. I'm flying, I think, 6 hours. I've got an hour left until I land into London. Whirlwind when I land back in London because I've been away a long time, so it's really going to hit hard. And on the flight, what do? The first thing I've come to do with my experience as someone now that flies about 40, 50 weeks a year sometimes, is I drink all the water. One time around the experiment of stocking up on electrolytes and water, it was absolutely game-changing. And I actually learned the importance of this from my podcast guests, but then I checked it myself, which is what I highly recommend you always to do. I checked using AI and a bunch of other tools, how much water should I be drinking if I'm on a 6-hour flight from London to Dubai, or if I'm on a 10, 11-hour flight from LA to London. And here's what it said. It said that I need to be drinking 6 cups of water to stay hydrated, because of the low humidity in the airplane cabin. But if you're flying for 11 hours, which is like LA to London or something like that, or LA to Paris, then you need to drink up to 10 cups, 3 liters of water while you're in the air. Now what tends to happen is people drink alcohol in the air, which sort of further dehydrates them, so they need to drink even more water. But who on earth is drinking 10 cups of water, 3 litres while on the plane? I do. That's what I do now. And there's a couple of other things that I do when I fly, which I think are really important. There's a couple of apps that I use which help me time how and when to sleep if I'm flying from different parts of the world. So they tell you like when to have your coffee, when to eat your food, when to sleep, depending on where you're flying in the world. And I'll put the app that I use on the screen. I'm not affiliated to them in any way. They're not a sponsor of mine at all. But these things, again, are all about landing well. Because as you'll probably know, the downstream knock-on effect of having a bad flight and then landing feeling like shit doesn't just impact the next couple of hours, it impacts that whole day, which then means it typically impacts the next day and it can impact your week. So these are small optimizations that have had a profound impact on my life. What do I like to do when I'm in the air? Right now what I'm going to be doing is I'm starting writing my new book and I'm also reading books. And I like to do both at the same time. So a little bit of a hack for me, I'll show you this one second, see if I can. So one of the things that's had a profound impact on my ability to learn new ideas, but also just made it easier to extract knowledge from any book that I read, that on one half of the iPad I have my book, and then on the other half of the iPad I have my note taking. So when I'm reading the book, what I do is in real time while I'm reading the book, I start to write ideas that I'm learning from the book. So I basically start writing my own articles on what the book is telling me. And this process, I think, has been scientifically proven to help you retain knowledge better. Right, I'm going to get on with some reading because apparently we're landing soon, so... Okay, finished training, come in, I've eaten some keto food, some steak, some eggs, some avocados. I'm now gonna go to the Emirates Stadium to watch Manchester United take on Arsenal away from home in the FA Cup. And if we get knocked out, it's gonna be extra painful because I'm in a box with Piers Morgan, who is one of the biggest Arsenal fans in the world. So this could either be a really, really good day, or this could be a really, really bad day. But I've got a lot of faith in Manchester United at the moment. I think Rebranding is a special manager. I've got a lot of faith in the boys. The mentality of the team at the moment I think is amazing. So these could be some famous last words, but Piers, you okay? Piers, you okay? How does it feel to be videoed all the time? It is Sunday night. It's my first day back in the UK in more than a month, I think now. Been flying all over the world over the last couple of weeks. Excited to get into the office tomorrow. I've not seen the team in a while in our HQ here in London. We've got our Flight Story HQ here in London where we've got about 100 people in total and we're building the office. Very excited for that. But tomorrow morning I've texted Will and I've told him that I want to do my first run in London, so I'm looking forward to that. Going to try and get a personal best as well. Up early run, get changed, get into the office, see the team, get to work. Podcast comes out tomorrow. Feels like it's time to lock in. Beautiful morning in London. 6 a.m, 7 a.m, 8 a.m, something like that. Wish me luck. Am I overdressed, underdressed?
You're gonna be cold.
I'm gonna be cold.
To start with, yeah.
King boss.
Where you been?
We're going for a run.
You and who? Steve. When? Now? Are you kidding me?
I'm really not looking forward to this.
but I'm never looking forward to it. So, I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll enjoy it, but. Fuck yeah.
Good shit.
Oh, fuck. Oh. 4.5 pace. Your best effort.
Get in. Well then, mate.
23 minutes.
23 minutes?
Yeah. To be honest, I think the weather makes a big difference.
Yeah,
huge difference.
Probably well rested.
Cheers, mate. Can we go back to my place, please? When are you going to come running, Smiley?
Not sure about that. I prefer to run on the treadmill.
Where no one can see. And no one even knows if it happened.
Oh dear.
Yeah. You know, there's another thing I always say to my friends, right? Very important thing. Whenever you feel like you've cracked it in the gym, or you finally figured out motivation, or you're suddenly in a good swing of things, I think the most important thing is to realize that you never crack it. You absolutely never crack it. You never crack motivation. You never really crack discipline. So for me, one of the big unlocks I had that allowed me to be consistent with some of my habits is I've realized that I never, ever, ever, ever crack it. I'm never gonna crack it. And because I realized that, there's always a little bit of like complacency protection. There's this like realization that every day I can lose it, and every day I have the opportunity and I have to make the decision to keep my motivation, to keep my good habits. You've got to factor in that your emotions are going to change throughout the year. And of course, yeah, your emotions right now are driven, determined, motivated. But if they're going to change through the year, there's going to be a different version of you in August. There's going to be a different version of Steve in October this year. So how do I put things in place? How do I put systems, processes, mindset seeds in place to make sure that in August, when Steve feels entirely differently and life is happening and he's flying on a plane at 3 a.m. and he's stressed, how do I have a system or some kind of mindset at that point which is going to enable me to perform the behavior irrespective of the emotion? One of those things that's helped me is this deep realization that you absolutely never crack motivation. It is a choice, it is a decision, it is an opportunity every single day. So every year, at the start of the year, I do keto. Sometimes for 1 month, sometimes for 3 months, and I've so far done keto for 1 month. Basically, the TLDR is I'm not eating sugar and I'm eating an extremely low carb diet. You can have up to about 20 to 30, up to 50 if you really want to push it, but 20 to 30 net carbs. To show you what that looks like on screen, that's what it looks like to eat 20 to 30 net carbs a day. So it's really, really not a lot. And everything else that I eat is like cheese, avocados, fats, proteins. In other years, when I was on ketosis, I never really knew if I actually was on ketosis. So I was just kind of guessing. And then someone came on my podcast and they told me that you can actually test for ketosis. And so they told me about this this company that has these little keto monitors called Keto Mojo. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But what you basically do is you do a little finger prick. So get a little needle, pop it in there. Little prick in your finger, got a little draw of blood there. Take one of these out, pop it into the Keto Mojo reader, like that, boom. When it goes in, I just give a little bit of a blood sample there into the end of this. It'll give me my keto reading when this counts down from 9. And if my keto reading is above 0.5, 0.5 that is, then I am in ketosis, 0.8. Okay. And really, and again, I don't want to butcher this, but it's your body switching its sort of metabolic fuel source from glucose, which is what my body normally runs on, to now ketose. And the consequence of that is your brain is running on a different fuel source. You're not getting the glucose roller coaster where you start crashing after a big meal, or you get really tired at the end of the day. The big thing I always notice is my brain seems to be connected to my mouth, and as someone that uses their mouth a lot for their job, you notice when there's variation in your ability to speak, to think, to ideate, and that's been the absolute big difference. But I have to be honest, it's not easy, because avoiding carbohydrates and avoiding sugar in the world that we live in, where our whole society is designed around glucose and sugar and carbohydrates to make you addicted and to play with your dopamine, you have to have a certain level of like discipline. That might just be why I do it. So sometimes when we start the new year and we have loads of goals, we want to get fit, eat well, save money, do X thing, learn a new hobby. It's a little bit overwhelming, but the way that I kind of restart every year, and I have done for the last 4 years, is I focus on one difficult goal, one really, really difficult goal, which this year was keto. And then I watched as all of these other sub things happened because of the discipline in one area of my life. I started running more, I was working out even better in the gym. I was more focused in my work and less procrastinating. And it's like this domino effect, this sort of like downstream impact to the rest of my life. And for me, nutrition and also sleep are two of the best places to aim if you want to have a downstream positive impact on every area of your life. So I feel good. Someone told me I was stacked earlier on. You didn't get that on camera though. You didn't get it on camera, you weren't in the room. No, we can ask them to repeat it.
Looking at the channel, this feels cheap, inauthentic and confusing. So what I propose in these next 3 slides is basically a bit of a format rebrand and style rebrand.
Yeah.
I think we should sit here, which is the podcast, your brand on Instagram, LinkedIn, attracting new audience members. We basically serve those who know who you are and what you do, but they want to know how and why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
We serve that small audience with the bottom of the funnel. Going back to this, confusing.
Yeah, it's and high variance between, let's just put it in different people based on the themes, right?
Exactly. So what am I proposing? Essentially a 3-month experiment which has a new rebrand for the diary, whereby it's more authentic. We measure the success not by performance but by consistency and community that it builds.
Yeah, I'm on board. Craig would.
Good. Well, that's good. Cool.
Because I understand the strategy.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
great.
you can go left or right, but you're going to be alright.
Great.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I actually think that I do truly believe people really did love the essence of what it is.
Yeah. It's so powerful as well. It's so powerful.
Do you know what I really want to do with this? Do you know what I really want to do? What I love to document is like building this company.
Yes.
In a way that no one has ever documented building a company.
That's what I mean. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg said to you, like, oh, we've got 2 years of just every single meeting we ever had to build Facebook 10 years ago. Can you imagine what that would be? And I believe in like this mission so much. That's why I think doing a keto video is a disservice to what we're doing.
I can't wait for you to run a marathon though.
Yeah. We just end the dropping it. Hello, testing. Stop recording my face. What is this? It's like dealing with bloody ET. What the hell is... I don't think Will's going to be too pissed off with me. I'm sure I made some kind of mistake, but...
Steve says he's going to be 5 minutes up and down to the car in 5 minutes. No chance.
Place your bet. What do you reckon?
10 minutes.
On the dot.
On the dot.
9:23.
No chance. Shake on it.
£2.
Come on. You can't have a shower and get dressed and come back out in 5 minutes. No way.
We didn't have any hot water. We didn't have any hot water. We didn't have any hot water. No excuses. Get the picture then. There's a curb there, mate.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.